Welcome guys. Now this is second lecture of Java and C++ programming. In this lecture, we are going to learn the basic things which we will be using in our Java program or C++ program. So before that, we should know that we have to use compilers. We will be having what interpreters? We will be using interpreters, and we will be using IDEs. All right, IDEs. What are IDEs? IDEs are integrated development environment. These are used for what? These are used to write our program. Write our program. Okay. So the program which we write are known as source code. These are source code. All right. What we are writing on our device or anywhere else, then it is known as source code. Now, this source code goes to what? This source code goes to compiler. This is what? Compiler. And in some cases, there is present interpreter. Interpreter. Okay. Then what it does? It converts this into machine code. Machine code. All right. Machine code. Why machine code? See, to get this answer, you have to watch my previous playlist or the previous lectures, which you will get in the my channel, that are basics of computer application. Basics of computer applications. See, that's why I told you earlier that you have to watch those videos also, because when you know what are the basics of computer, then you will know what are these things, how you can write code, how you can optimize those code. All right. So as we know that our machine works on the binary system, binary numbers. All right. So this is what only reads the binary numbers. Now, when we write these our source code, it is written in English language or specified language, or it has some syntax also. Then it needs to be converted to our machine code, that is binary codes. Okay, and these binary codes are known as byte codes. Byte codes, because byte code is a collection of 8 bits. So what does the machine do? Machine collects the bits from the program and it makes a bunch of 8 bits, and a bunch of 8 bits is known as bytes. So we use compiler and interpreter to convert the source code into machine code. So I think you have got the idea of compiler and interpreter, but the compiler and interpreter are different. Their work is same, but they are different. How they are different? Because compiler converts complete program at once. Complete program at once, and interpreter just you can say that compile program or convert line by line. Okay. So when the compiler is working, then it is compiled once in a whole program at a time, and when you are using interpreter, but Java users generally uses compiler. Okay. Then second topic is comments. See, why comments are being used? Comments are being used to represent something which are not to be used in the company program, but it should be visible to the developers. So we use comment. There are 3 types of comments. This is single line comment. If you write the double backslash and then write something, then it is not read by the compiler or interpreter. It is shown on in the IDE only. Then it comes the code. What is this? Single line. is single line comment, and this is what multi-line comment. All right. Then we use the backslash with asterisk and asterisk with backslash, forward slash, sorry, with this backslash to close this comment, and we write these things. Then this is paragraph commenting. In the paragraph commenting, what comes, that is also known as document type commenting. So we use what? We use two asterisks with the first one and single asterisk with the closing. All right, I will be using, then you will get a better idea of this. Okay, so now before that, those who are not having the laptops, or they are coding, or they are learning via mobile, then they can use online compiler. Online compiler. In the starting phases, I also be using online compiler so that they can be shown to them. But later on, I will use BlueJ for Java and DEV C++ for C++. All right, you can use your own IDE. You can just watch YouTube videos how to install your IDE and these also. But I will be using BlueJ and DEV C++ because it will help you to learn from the basics. Other IDEs may have some pre-written codes and also, but when you use just like Apache NetBeans, when you use NetBeans, then it has a set of pre-written codes. But when you write on BlueJ, then it don't have set of pre-written codes. You have to write. Then you get an idea that what how a code works. And this is same for C++. Also, that is Dev C++. So now moving forward, let me first, before giving you the first program, let me explain you the concepts of data types and operators. Okay, because these are the very important and necessary concept before moving towards the general concept of programming or general programming. Okay, I can teach you that directly, but before that you have to idea about this. So I will be teaching both, that is Java and C++. So what is the topic? That is data types. Okay, something are similar in both cases. For very first, you should know about token. All right, token. Token is what? See, any individual character, any individual character is known as token. Just for example, if I write an example, A equals to B, then we use plus 9. And what is this? This is terminator. It's known as terminator or semicolon. All right. Now just break down these things into tokens. See, every entity, whether this, whether this, whether this, whether this, whether this, and whether this, these all are tokens. All right. And when we classify these tokens, then we get to know that this is identifier. Identifier is what? Identifier is a name given. Okay. What is identifier? It is the name given to any variable to identify. And what is a variable? What is a variable? Variable is container which holds data. Container in a memory which holds data. Okay. And what is identifier? Name given to this what? Variable. All right. Then what is this? This is assignment operator. Assignment operator. Then this is all again identifier. Then this is what? This is operator, addition operator, operator. Then this is this is literal. Okay, these are literals. Literals are constants. See, if I say that 9, 8, so if I write wherever I write 8, whether in this in this earth, on the earth I write, or on the Mars I write, but 8 remains 8. So this is constant and it never changes. So this is known as literal or known as constants. Then this is what? Terminator, and this is known as punctuator. Punctuator. All right. So please remember these terms. Then only you will be able to understand concepts. Now we have separators also. Just like punctuators, we have separators. Separators are what? They used to separate a string. Just like we are given a string, we have given just like for example, my name is, and I write after. All right. So if we want to add some space here, that is one tab space in your computer, it might be 4 spaces or 8 spaces, it depends on your system. If we want to apply vertical tab, that is this content shift towards this. All right. And if we want to apply backslash or certain things, then we use escape sequences. Escape sequences. So what are escape sequences? They are separators. What are these? Separators. Okay, let me draw a table for you. Insert table. How many? Yes, it might be sufficient. Table. And I should increase this. Okay, I think it's not working. Okay, just leave that table. Okay. How can I increase the short size? Okay, just leave. So there are various types of separators we can use. What are these? Really using in our programming, but just remember these things, because these things will definitely work out for you when you write program. So slash t, this is known as vertical tab, or slash v, slash with slash, backslash. Then we have slash with single quote. Just remember these things. Then we have slash with double slash, and then we have this. This is backspace. This is form feed. This is null, and this is carrier reference. Carrier reference. All right. Please only just remember these things. You have to remember these forms or this syntax. I will tell you later on that how to use them. Okay, because the main purpose is the application. Okay, now come towards data type. Data types. See, these are some topics which are similar to both C and C++. All right. So, data type. What is a data type? Data. See, everything we write or we give as input is known as data type. All right. So, just like for example, if I write a is equals to 10, so what type of data it is? What type of data? It is integer type of data, that is integral value. All right. So when we are using integral type of data, then it is a numeric. Also, we can say that it is numeric type of data. Again, if I define that, if I write this is variable name, and if I write my name AKHTAR, then what? Then it is string type. All right. Then it is string type. I think you have got the idea. Now, if we classify the data to types, we can classify them as primitive. So primitives are what are primitives? These are predefined data types, which is defined by the language developer. And what is next? It is non-primitive. So non-primitive data types are the types of data type which we can define by our own. All right. So further, we can define primitive data types into two types, two categories. That is what? That is numeric one, and another is non-numeric. Because what type of data we are given? The numeric data type. What which type of data we are having? We are having integers. And in the non-numeric data type, and the next one is floating. If I give you example, see, writing 10, 11 are quite similar because they are integers. But if we write 10.2, 10.4, then these are different because they use floating point variable. They are floating type. They are using decimal type. They are value after decimal also. So they are categorized under floating type. Okay. Then it comes non-numeric. In non-numeric, we have character data type. C. Character data type is enclosed within a single quotes. All right. When we write this A and assign to a variable A, then its value will be character A. Okay. Then it comes with string. Okay. Strings are quoted under double quotes. Okay. Whatever we write here will be considered as string. Then it comes Boolean. Boolean is what? Boolean is it's like true or false. So it has only two values which are true and which are false. Okay. Now, in non-primitive data types, we have class. See, class functions. These are also data types because these are having some data. So classes, and we have arrays. Arrays. There is separate chapter for arrays. I will explain arrays here. And there is interface. Interface is what we can give. We can define these functions there, but we cannot access with them. Okay, we don't have the function completely defined, but we have invoked or we have initialized. We have the data initialization or function initialization in the interface. Okay, now moving further, let me explain you the integer or the first non-primitive, primitive and non-primitive data type. See, the important ones are numeric, that is, primitive data types. Okay, the non-primitive data types are being covered in the further videos and in the separate chapter. So now, the primitive data type. What is first? Numeric, and under numeric, what is first? Integer. Integer data type. All right. So integer is again classified into four data types. That is what? Byte, then byte, short, then integer, and then what? Long integer. See, these classification is based on their size or the range of values they can contain. Okay, so they are generally measured in bit size. Okay, and what the second type is their format. Okay, so what is its format? We have to write. Okay, format. See, please understand this because when we are going to program in the next lecture, we are going to use these things. Okay. So bit size, you know how many byte does how many bits does a byte contain? It contains 8 bits. So bit size is 8 bits. So similarly, short is 16 bits, integer is 32 bits, and long integer is 64 bits. Or in bytes, we can say that it is 1 byte, it is 2 byte. Just remember byte short, int long, byte short, int long, byte short, int long, and remember in byte only, then convert that into bits. So bit, then it is 1 byte, 3 bytes, sorry. All right, sorry. This is 2 byte and this is 4 byte because it's just double, and this is 8 byte. Okay, then remember that 1, 2, 4, 8, just like what I have. See, that's why I am saying that you have to watch those videos also, because the bit changes like this. 2, 1, 2, 4 bits values changes like this. Bytes values also changes like this. So you have to remember, because they all are measured in 2's power, 2's power, 2's power this. Okay, so what it gives, then it is on, it comes 16, then it is 32, then so on, which is power 4, 2 power 5, and then so on. So how this goes on. So you have to watch those videos, because I will explain very well in those videos. Please go and watch. Please, it will benefit you. See, when you go for interview, then interviewer don't say that what have you learned. They will ask from everywhere, and that's why basic is very necessary at that time. So, what is its format? For now, talking about format of byte. See, just um, okay. I'm increasing the size. Just byte, write only by byte and write. See, this is format for writing, declaring a variable. See, just first remember the format for going to this. Just remember the format. What is format? Format is data type. You have to declare the data type. Then you have to declare variable name or memory chunk name, variable name. Okay, then assignment operator, and then if you want to declare a value, then declare value, or else just complete it there. And if you declare value, then complete there. Okay, so what is its format? Just write byte, that is data type, then write variable name a equals, since it holds 8 bits, so 1 byte. How many values it can hold? See, when you are using bits, then it can hold value from 0 to 2's power 8. That is, it can hold 2 power 8 values. And what 2 power 8? This is 256. Okay, so it can hold 256 values. So when you count from 0, it can hold 0 to 255, because when you count from 0 to 255, it will give 256 values. Okay, when you have negative values, then 0 will be the midpoint, and here and here there will be the same number of values. Okay, so when it comes for negative values, it comes from it will divide these values into equal number of positive and negatives. How? See, from 0 onwards we start positive numbers. Okay, and from backward to 0 we have negative numbers. All right, so just divide 256 into 2 parts. Then how we can divide? 128, 128. All right, we have 128 negative numbers, and we have 128 positive numbers. All right, 128 and 128. So when you have 128 positive numbers, and positive numbers you start from 0, then we can have 0, till 127, and negative numbers 128 till minus 1, minus 128 till minus 1. So its ranges varies from minus 128 to plus 127 when it comes for negative ones, and for positive ones it comes from 0 to 255. Now similarly, for short we have 16 bits. So what, how many values it can have? It can contain 2 power 16. Just it's your assignment to calculate the values for all these. What is the range you can find? If you don't, just calculate with the help of calculator or just use the internet. All right. Then format for declaring, just write short, that data type, then declare variable name, and then write the value which falls under this, or you can say this, or generally the variables are using negative to positive, then you can use the values between this for byte, and just calculate and just remember it for short. Then it comes for integer, we use this int a equals the values, for example let's take 10. Then for long integer, what we give long, and how many number of bits it can have? 2 power 64 values it can have, or 2 power 32 positive and same number of negative values. All right. So we can declare 2 power 8 is equals to range. All right. I think it is clear now. So then here comes another data type, floating data type. Floating. So floating is also again classified as two parts. What are float and another one is double. See, floating is 4 bytes and double is 8 bytes. See, the main difference is in the size. Okay, so when you use float, you are giving you are using 4 byte size. When you are declaring it double, then you are using 8 byte size. All right. So the syntax is same. Float variable name equals, when it is comes for floating point, then we use decimal points, decimal number. So 10.5, take example. Similarly for double, when we have large set of data, then we use double, then it is 10.555 and so on. All right. Now what comes after this? The character type. Okay, for character type we have two types. One is character, another is string. When you have a single character, and single character, how much memory it consumes? It consumes 2 bytes. 2 bytes, that is 2 power 16 bits. All right, and sorry, 16 bits and 2 power 16 values it can hold. Right. Then what comes? String. String can have 2 bytes, more than 2 bytes. All right. Why? Because string is a combination of characters. Okay. String is a collection of characters. String is what? Collection of. Is my volume clear? Yes. 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 String is a collection of characters. So if we combine 2, 3, 4, any number of, then 2 bytes for this, 2 bytes for this, 2 bytes for this, then total 6, and it will goes on. So more than 2 bytes. All right. Then it comes for Boolean. See, Boolean uses only one value, and it is contains 1 bit. In my basic programming lectures, whose playlist is being shared to you in the description box, you can check. I told you computer uses 1 and 0, 1 for true, 0 for false. All right. So when we have values other than 0 and positive, then it will always be read as true for by the compiler. And when we have 0, then it will be read as false. Now, I think you have understood the concept of data types. Now we have two types of initializations. We can initialize our variables in two types initialization. How these initializations can be done? First one is static initialization. Just declare the variable and initialize it with a value like int a is equals to 10. Or else there is second type, that is dynamic. What is dynamic? I told you earlier, I think in this video or in the previous video of this computer in this programming series, I told you that whenever dynamic comes, it means runtime. So if we declare in this type int a is equals to 10, b is equals to 5, and then we declare a variable int sum equals to a plus b, then what it will be, the sum will be allocated the values in during the runtime, because this will be calculated during runtime. All right, I think you have understood this. There are some set of rules to name a variable. Okay, what are rules to name variable? What are the rules variable? Okay, let me explain it. See, variables can have any number of characters. Just like I have declared a, you can declare a b, a c. Just like int, I can also declare like a k h b a r and assign it value 10. Alright, then the variable name actor will have value 10. Okay, then it may contain alphabets, digits, and underscore. Okay, so underscore is applied to separate meanings. Underscore is used. This is third rule, that underscore is used to give some meaning. And the fourth rule is it has some very valid name, valid logic. All right, just like if I say that basic salary, then I should write like BE underscore SAL. Then BA will represent basic, SAL will represent salary. Now these variables can be invalid also if we do these kinds of errors. If we write these, the problems may occur when we write the variable name starting with special digit or special character, such as this. So we have to avoid. All right. Second one, which comes is what? It does not include space between. Just like, for example, basic salary, we have used the basic, separate basic and salary, we have used underscore. We cannot write it like this because Java or any other programming language, just like C++, will read this space as the separator. Okay. Then third one maybe, then digits should not be applied in between the characters. Okay, so digits might present at the end also. Okay, and fourth rule is that it should not be reserved keywords. It should not reserved words or keywords. See, keywords are what? Keywords are predefined words. Predefined words. Just like, for example, if you have done a small number of programming, or else you don't have. See, this is what like int. Int is reserved because it represents integer type inside the programming. So we cannot declare a variable with name int. For similarly, we have for, which is used for loop. We have while. We have set of keywords. All right. Now, second one comes with type conversion. Okay. I say that there are two. There is logic called type conversion. Sometimes we need to convert one variable to another variable. For example, if you are using integer type, then we make have to convert it into float type, or if we are using float, then we have to convert into integer type. So for type conversion, we have again two techniques: implicit and explicit. In the implicit type, okay, what we can say in the implicit type, what is implicit type? When we convert the when the compiler or the program self converts the code into another type, it is not forceful. But when we have to convert the forcefully, then it is known as explicitly type conversion. All right. For example, just remember the sizes. I have told you here the sizes of these data type. So, for example, if I try to convert double type into int, so double type will be having 64 bits, integer is having 32 bits. So, can 32-bit store 32 bits store 64 bits? No, it cannot. But we have to apply some techniques to make it 32 bits, that is data compression. Okay. And always remember, always, the data type is converted always into its higher form. For example, if we have just like this C equals to A plus B. All right, this is what? This is integer, this is long. All right, so when we convert, when we add these up, then this will add and converts into long, because long is having the more data space. So small one can be accommodated into large one, but large one cannot be accommodated into smaller one. So automatically the machine will convert it into large. And suppose if we are given int here, then this long will be forcefully converted into integer. Okay, so this is X type conversion. Okay. Now, this is for all today. In the next lecture, I will be taking lecture for operators, and there are questions which you have to solve, and then we will move towards the computer programming, that is we will be writing codes. But before that, please watch the computer application lectures, because these will help in the next lecture. Those concepts will help you in the next lecture. So please watch. Don't forget to watch those lectures. Thank you, class.